Moving to fucking Aspen, Colorado at the time was like putting Anderson Silva in a fucking karate school with a bunch of white belts. That's what it was like. I mean, because I tried not to steal. I tried, but it's just, you have to. You know, people would leave their windows open with a purse on the fucking thing, and this is Colorado. Like, I freaked at first because people used to say good morning to me. Like, good morning, what, bitch? I'm from New York City, motherfucker. Don't you good morning me. What's so fucking good about it? You know, you're not used to that shit. Like, people, good morning, how are you? Like, what the fuck? What do you want to do? And that was like the weirdest, because I really wanted to get my life together. My mom had died. I had been in all this trouble for 2 years. I mean, but cocaine was taking over. By 83, cocaine was everywhere. You see the weed stores, how they're all over California? This is the way cocaine was. People were giving it to you, even if you didn't want it. You know, there was no more weed. There was no more acid. You know, I mean, it's so weird when cocaine came because nobody knew the power of a drug till that motherfucker showed up. Because for years, people did acid and weed, but nobody lost a house. Cocaine made you lose houses and your wives, but people didn't give a fuck. They were freebasing, having a good time, and drug dealers were out. And I went up there and I tried. I got a job as a dishwasher at John Denver's restaurant. And they had this world famous fucking magician. You're not gonna believe this shit. And his famous trick was there was a fan. There were fans all over the restaurant. And he would take money from you and put a card in it with a thumbtack, and he'd have to throw it up in between the fan. So at the end of the night, there'd be thousands of dollars on the fucking ceiling. I just can't leave it there. So we started taking like a 20 from the magician, me and the other bus boys and shit. And then they started inviting us to all these drug parties, like these parties at night. And I had been like a half a burglar, you know, already. So I got a job. This complex, I forget what it was called, had maybe like A, B, C, D, up to like H, and each letter was a building. And each of those buildings, let's say they had 12 apartments, they had 4 drug dealers in each apartment building. So I got a job shoveling snow to case the joint, you follow me? That's what a real pimp does. I'd be out there watching them and shit. And my buddy, my roommate, had gotten thrown out of Brown at the time. He was an engineer. So I made him, we all had the same door. So I had him devise a machine for me, like a knife with a saw, with a hook, that could work on every fucking door. So I would watch the drug dealers go skiing, and I'd go in their house, and if they had an ounce of coke, I'd take like an 8-ball. I wouldn't even take the whole thing. So when they got back, they're like, my mind's playing tricks on me. And I did that for a long fucking time, but I got fucking crazy in Colorado. And I got an electrician job, and this guy that I was working with, he said I could go through any fucking alarm in the world. So I'm like, finally, my dream. I'm not shooting a guy, but I'm gonna make it as a burglar. I got a partner who's gonna teach me. So I started doing it. I started reading up on it and cutting wires and getting ladders, and I had like a little hat with a light. And then I'm gonna go home February of '84. It's December of '83, and by that time I had tons of money put away because I was robbing like a different drug dealer every week. It was fucking pathetic. My roommate at the time was from Jersey too. He knew what I was doing. He's like, Joey, they're gonna fucking catch you. I'm like, bitch, watch this. This is the smallest community in the world, and I'm robbing fucking rampant. So it's Christmas Eve, and it would happen. I would lose my mind when I drank in those days. Like I would drink Southern Comfort and orange juice. That's what they give fucking Indians before they go to war. You understand me? That's the shit that makes you go fucking bananas. Like, and I would have 3 drinks and I'd want to rob something. And like instead of a booty call, I had to rob something. And it was Christmas Eve. I'll never forget this. It was Christmas Eve. I didn't have a girlfriend. I was lonely. My roommate was at home. And the mall was shut. And I said, I'm going to rob this fucking mall. So I broke like this tourist store and I took the safe. I couldn't get it open. I broke into this cheese shop, stole cheese. I broke into this other thing and I'll never forget the next morning I woke up like hungover, like you didn't know what you did. Most people get drunk and suck a dick or take it in the ass. I would get drunk and rob a house and forget the next day. How fucking crazy is that? And I'll never forget that. I wake up to my roommate going, Cokes, look at the paper. And it said, Snowmass Village Mall burglarized Christmas Eve. I was like, I made the papers. I cut that motherfucker out. I got a scrapbook. I'm like, damn. I'm ready to go, bitch. I made the papers. And they had like, we have witnesses. They had fucking nothing. These motherfuckers weren't even cops. They were just guys in a Saab driving around. But then I had my eyeball on this jewelry store. The deal was I was gonna rob the jewelry store and go back to fucking Jersey February for my birthday and have a great time. So there's a blizzard. It's a perfect night to rob the fucking jewelry store. I go up there with my black little suit on like Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon when he went downstairs, remember? I'm fucking tiptoeing. I get up there, I cut the one wire, I cut the other one, I go around the back. I'm just about to open the window, I'm about to put my fucking leg in, and I look, and I see a Saab with the lights on with no siren. They're coming for me, so I say, fuck this. I take my leg, and I run the fuck down the hill, and I'm falling, and I'm stumbling, and I run into my fucking apartment. Woof, I beat him. About an hour later, the door knocks, and there's fucking 4 cops. And they're like, how you doing? You see anybody suspicious here? And I'm like, no. Have you gone out at all? And I'm like, no, I've been home all night. Like, oh, there was a robbery, and looks like the guy ran in here. Because the track I left in the fucking snow. I'm like, nah, there ain't nobody here, I didn't leave. And he looks over, and there's my shoes by the heater melting. And he's like, something ain't right here. I'm like, listen, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Get the fuck out. Get out. You got a license? You got a warrant? No, get out. I'm fucking nobody robbing the house. I'm a Catholic. I'm 18. I don't know nothing. They knew. They fucking knew. So I had to get out of there. Pew! I didn't rob nothing for the last 3 weeks. And I just let it go as I took, but I had a bunch. I was robbing and sending back shit. Like I would rob jewelry, and I knew I couldn't sell it up there, so I would send it to my friends. And I'd say, hold on to the money. I remember I robbed this one chick's house, and she had a block of hash, guys, with a stamp from the emperor, the gold shit. That's old school, not that shit they make up at fucking Coldwater and fucking Ventura. This is the shit little Arabs make and shit, and they stamp it, and they put the thing. And I remember I brought that back on the plane with me. I'll never forget this. I took a flight, United Airlines, from Denver to Jersey, and I have this block of hash, and I put a little bit, and I had a wooden pipe in my pocket with a lighter. They didn't care about nothing those days. You could smoke cigarettes on a plane and shit, and there was a soldier next to me. And I go, dog, I got a piece of hash on me. Let's go in the back and smoke it. We're in the back of that fucking plane, started smoking that hash. They're like, the guy comes on, somebody's smoking marijuana. I was fucking, and I robbed the stewardess's purse. That's how crazy I was. Fuck that bitch. There was a purse out. I took the fucking thing. She had like $60. I threw it in the fucking thing. That's how fucking crazy I was at this time. I was like a fucking one-man parade of thievery. Here I am smoking dope with a fucking soldier on the plane. On the plane! What the fuck?